My Mum Died Rude is based on personal experience. I wanted to create a show that explored grief and explored death literacy and talked about what happens when you have complex grief and historical grief. And you're an expert in the field. I am a grief therapist and have been for decades. And I still go through everything that my clients do. So it's part memoir and reflection. It's a lot of humor. It's a lot of insight. It's knowledge and it's fun. I'm hoping that this may be a show that is presentable in perhaps an improved format, but certainly something that can be taken to other festivals across Australia, and who knows, maybe even internationally. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you have a great festival.
Hi, my name's Kate Walder. I'm the Artistic Director of Steps and Holes and the creator performer of Pilgrim, which is a solo clown-based physical theatre work that explores a woman's journey through Rome, Athens and Jerusalem on a quest to go back to the beginning and recover her lost faith in love and perhaps faith itself. The work was triggered by an experience I had in Rome a few years ago and has been somewhat unravelling itself ever since. Making it has been a real process of becoming for me personally and as an artist, so it has a really strong voice. I also wanted to create something physically and visually masterful, but that was simple and easy to tour. And we've managed to achieve this thanks to the collaboration with our brilliant designer, Michael Hankin, and Helpman award-winning composer, Max Leanvert. Why delegates should see it. It's a real odyssey. It's full of heart and big ideas. It traverses the intimate and the epic. And we do this through a range of really beautiful theatre-making languages, including choreography, puppetry, the use of scale and shadow play, comedy, and glorious original music from Max. Value to audience. Well, it has a really deep honesty to it. It activates that childlike sense of wonder while also providing space for contemplation. And it's also a myth for our times, particularly for women. We're looking to build a tour and engage with international producers or presenters or anyone who's interested in having a conversation about the work. We'd love you to come and see it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Rose Francis, an artist from regional Western Australia. I love letting the spark of an idea guide me on how it unfolds until it becomes its own living thing, learning and mastering the skills as I go. Psycho or Psychic is a culmination of these skills so far: storytelling, dancing, theatre, intuition, drawing, audience interaction, and comedy through clowning and play. To sum it up, I'd say it's soulful, playful clowning. I obtained a Bachelor of Arts at WAPA back in 2019, training as a professional contemporary dancer, and have most recently expanded into clowning, where I realised I've been a clown all along. This sense of finding stillness, clarity, and freedom is really what my works are about, and how the audiences feel by the end of the show. Of course, it's through silliness, chaos, and utter mayhem. The good kind, the innocence and relatable experiences that connect us all through humility, humanity, and laughter. And it's laced with compelling and unexpected true stories of psychic experiences, which makes it rare for live performance, while meeting the rising demand for works that are joyful and full of heart. Oh, and it reveals insights of true connection without anyone realising, until they've arrived there themselves. Magic. Well, that's me. I can't wait to meet you, entertain you, and build heart-led touring together. Adaptable for small to mid-scale venues, minimal tech and fast bump-in. I travel light. Catch you on the flip side.
Hey, I'm Ryan Atkins, creator of A Kingdom of Fools, a full-length 2-act medieval farce set entirely in a rickety countryside tavern at the height of King John's reign. When officials arrive to claim the village for the crown, the locals mount this hilariously chaotic resistance to prevent a full royal takeover. So why should you see this show? Well, A Kingdom of Fools is very, very funny. It's full of twists and payoffs, and importantly, it's not a spoof or a parody. Beneath the farce is a story about ordinary people standing together, using collective action to push back against entrenched hierarchies and unfair systems. The unique selling point of this show is the highly detailed medieval world and big theatrical characters that shape the story. The tavern set, the costumes, the props, the textures, it's all made to look and feel authentic, and there's just no other show like it. I see a Kingdom of Fools having a natural future in the UK, with Edinburgh Fringe as a launch point toward touring or presentation in larger theatres, and I'm really keen to connect with producers who see that potential too and who want to be involved early in shaping the show's next chapter. I'm really hoping to meet someone who believes in backing ambitious, original Aussie work and helping it to break through overseas. This is the kind of show that just needs one person to believe in it early, and with the right support, I really think it can go somewhere. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Eva Seymour and I am the writer and performer of the one-woman show, The Understudy. I am a self-producing artist and this is my first Adelaide Fringe. The Understudy just completed its world premiere sold-out season at Melbourne Fringe. The Understudy is directed by Olivia Charalambous and it was born out of my many experiences of working as an understudy. It explores the general absurdity of this job and the mental gymnastics you have to undertake to justify the stress. The show is a very honest dissection of the industry and it lets no one off the hook, including the understudy herself. This subversive meta story about an understudy trying to save her career by performing a one-woman show quickly spirals into a surreal comedy horror about an understudy becoming the understudy to her own life. She's losing her grip on reality, one career sacrifice at a time. I am looking to connect with producers and international touring companies who can help me take this show to Edinburgh. It's tour ready and it travels light. The only props are a TV, which I can source overseas, a stool, a camera, and a tripod. This show is deeply relatable to anyone who has gone all in on a dream only to look around and realise that they're not exactly where they hoped they'd be. I believe this show has really broad appeal and I think it will do really well on an international market. The Understudy is funny, it's weird, it's touching, and I'm so excited to bring it to Adelaide and beyond.
I'm Britt Plummer from Frank Theatre. I'm coming to you from Adelaide, Australia. My show Fool's Paradise is about love and romance and the impossible hurdles that international couples face. It centres around two clowns and it ultimately questions, how do we continue when dreams and reality clash?
Hi guys, my name is Magali and I'm presenting the solo show Homecoming, and it tells the story of a young woman who loses her orgasms and loses herself. I'm also a minority in Canada. I'm French Canadian. I am from Quebec, but I live outside of Quebec, so I'm a minority. Maybe I shouldn't say that. The story is also from the perspective of a French Canadian woman moving outside of Quebec into English Canada. She's encountering all these beautiful, toxic relationships with men who speak English. And this show is for everybody, it's not just for women. I've been coached and sponsored back in Canada by a dramaturge who helped me shape the piece. And I was very fortunate to work with Mary Queenan, my director. She really helped me make an amazing show. What I'm looking forward to do with this show is definitely to tour. This is the first time I'm bringing it outside of Canada. This is my first international premiere. I am so excited. This show is so easy to tour. I just have to bring myself, my teddy bear, and my two little flags as props. I'm also looking for financial or even artistic support. I'm more than open to make this piece better. It's a fun, sexy, sassy, comedic, dramatic, heartbreaking show. It's got a bit of dance, gymnastics, physical comedy. I think this is the best $25 someone's gonna spend at Fringe or any Fringes. Thank you so much for watching my piss. Thank you so much for watching my pitch. And I look forward to seeing you at Fringe. Bye guys.
Hello there, my name is Emrys and this is my passion pitch for my one-man black comedy, Odie. Odie is a very loose adaptation of the Odyssey from the perspective of a Queensland state of origin football hooligan.
Sing for me, oh, yous.
Performed entirely in vernacular verse.
I mean, it's all the things that make this country the best. Violence, alcohol, and sports, bit.
I'm always excited to challenge people's notions of where language can come from.
A gravy train.
It is irreverently Australian.
Turned gravy monorail.
It speaks about Australian vices, masculinity, and mateship.
Turned gravy light rail.
It is high language, low brow.
Turned sale of public service for short-term gravy surplus.
I'm really looking for touring, festival, and theatre opportunities, as well as career development and industry advice. It is a one-man show and incredibly easy to tour.
We each lock eyes and pretend our eyes aren't watering, but the bright fluoro glow from the casino below highlights each and every teardrop forming. You all right? He asks. Oh, yeah, mate, fine, all good, mate.
Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Brenda Spilver. I'm the company director of Limelight Touring Company and also the producer for our upcoming show Pony. We're really excited about supporting contemporary performances and plays, and our upcoming show Pony, which is written by Eloise Snape, it just fits that bill. We are a female-led company and we really like supporting female-written plays and supporting regional towns in our tour.
Hi, my name is Laura Gundrell and I will be playing Hazel in Pony. Hazel is not your typical protagonist. She is reality TV obsessed, she's fiercely outspoken and she is hilarious. She's also navigating a geriatric pregnancy. Eloise Snape's writing brilliantly captures Hazel's internal monologue, allowing us to experience her thoughts and emotions firsthand. And we also get to experience many other eccentric characters in her life.
Hello, I'm Beck Carter. I'm going to be directing Pony. It takes pregnancy from Hazel's perspective, out of that sanctum that we give women when they're pregnant, and stomps all over it, which I think makes the play very relatable for a lot of people who have experienced it. I think the fringe audiences are really going to love this piece.
Hi, my name's Marcel. I'm an actor and physical comedian, and I'm currently writing and performing my own solo comedy theatre shows around the international fringe circuit. My show is called Smile, and it's about the story of the life and films of Charlie Chaplin. It's a one-man physical comedy that tells the story of Chaplin's childhood poverty on the streets of London, his rise to worldwide fame and fortune, his political controversy after the Second World War, and then his eventual political exile in Switzerland. I trained for 10 years as a ballet dancer, and so I love that this show is the perfect show to combine movement and theatre. People of all ages love the show because the themes are so universal. Chaplin speaks for the little people, and every time he kicks a policeman in the bum, he gives hope to anyone who's ever felt oppressed or threatened by those in power. I'm looking for bookings. The show is super compact, it's just me and a technician, and so it's really easy to travel with, and regional touring works really well. Come and see me at the Courtyard of Curiosities at 6:20 p.m. from the 19th of February until the 8th of March. See you there.
I'm Sophie Smythe, Noe, and you might remember me from the Aspie Hour, or perhaps my hit TikTok when I announced breaking Titanic news. And I have a hyperfixation on the Titan. Oh no, not that one. Oh, not that one either. Yeah, still not that one. I'm so sorry about this. Oh yes, this one, this Titan. Do you remember this? Because this story has everything, including a missing sub full of billionaires, the Titanic, relatives on the Titanic, an oxygen countdown, memes, James Cameron, Blink-182, and it's a story about how I get lost at sea to my hyperfixation, which is probably due to a compilation of autism and ADHD. I literally, personally, get within two degrees of separation of the Titan sub situation. I'm getting ahead of myself. The subplot is a multimedia deep dive, literally and metaphorically. It is a story about how this story helped me understand myself and my neurodivergence and the people around me and the world around me. It's also an exploration of hubris, the cost of ambition, and it's also about how we might escape contemporary fascism before implosion. It's also comedy-ish, because, you know, people died. Confetti.
We Stew Productions and Adapt Enterprises presents We Stew's Stunted Growth, a tragicomic triptych in 3 gear changes. First gear, We Stew is not a mammal. Existential midlife crisis to the tour de force. Second gear, The Lederhosen Chronicles, where childhood trauma meets PTSD, post-traumatic Scottish disorder. Third gear, The Braveheart Sonnets, witty Scottish banter told in iambic pentameter, where fatted breasts and furry balls dance on Shakespeare's hallowed grave. Coming to Goodwood Theatre, Adelaide Fringe, 2026. Some assembly required. Show me the money.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rooney. And I'm Hannah Smith. And we are based in South Australia and are heading to Fringe with our new theatre company, Dead Darling Theatre. Unmothered is a lyrical, memory-driven song cycle that traces 3 generations of women through love, silence and inherited trauma, the longing to be nurtured and the fear of repeated harm, and the struggle to break cycles of silence. This show has been really important for us to make as our debut as a company, mostly being able to talk to so many women about their experiences with their mothers, greatly impacting the necessity for a show talking about generational abuse and trauma that has been made silent for too long. After this Fringe season, we are looking for touring opportunities, particularly to regional and remote Australia. The show's set and costumes can fit into a suitcase, and all we need is some lamps, couch and a rug. We currently have a 4-piece band, but there's also an option to use backing tracks. This show can tour with a cast of 3 people alongside 3 crew members and requires basic lighting and sound depending on band size. The show suits a black box theatre with a raised stage. So come along! We'd love to meet you and have a chat and get some advice and support for a baby theatre company. We're performing and starting by touring to Murray Bridge on the 8th of March and then heading to Goodwood Theatres and Studios from the 11th of March to the 14th of March. We'll see you there.
Hi, my name is Kate Gall and I'm the writer and director of Eden. Adelaide is our premiere season and this is a play with 2 actors. My aim is to create a work with a rigorous actor-driven form, multiple characters and locations created without sets or costume changes. This stripped-back theatricality sharpens the emotional stakes of a story about girls, risk and leaving home, leaving childhood and the stories that have shaped them. This work matters to me because it centres young women not as symbols or warnings, but as thinking, choosing complex people. Through Honeypot, I'm looking for touring opportunities, regional, national and international, as well as conversations with producers, presenters and programmers interested in bold, flexible, actor-driven work. This is drama with a touch of the Tasmanian Gothic, and I'd love to see you come and see it.
Hello, Honeypot friends. I cannot wait to meet you. My name is Lauren Hance. I am the writer and performer of Holio, and I'm also the host and producer of the podcast, What the Fringe. Holio is an immersive comedy drama that asks the question, what happens when faith, doubt, and pleasure collide? It's a show for anybody that's interested in those topics and diving deeper into them or having more nuanced conversations around those topics. It's for anybody who does not want to adhere to the status quo or wants to buck the system, so come join me. Some interesting facts about the show is that the team behind the show is all mothers and women. As many of you know, in our industry, when women become mothers or caregivers, they take a break or leave the industry completely. So it was really important to me to work with women and mothers. Also, the show is based on interviews that I did with dozens of women, and their stories can be heard each night depending on what the audience chooses. You'll hear different stories, and the stories are dramatized. Also, this show was my thesis project for my degree in theology, arts, and culture. Yeah, I went to seminary. But don't worry, the show's not going to bash the Bible over your head, but it might make you think about spirituality and your connection to God or the divine or whatever you call it. Feel free to look through my packet, see what audiences and reviewers say, but honestly, I would just love to have you come to the show and experience it yourself.
Hi, I'm Karina Gouros, Australian writer and performer. Self-Raising Flower is a solo dramedy about Zoe, a woman in her 20s trying to save her family. She lives with her abusive mother and teenage sister, and their lives are defined by their cramped, filthy home, her mother's mental illness, and a lot of financial hardship. So Zoe gets a job in a high-end nightclub, and she is pulled into a world full of wealth, wastefulness, misogyny. Aggravated by the inequality, she comes up with a scheme to balance the scales, She creates a fake sugar dating profile and lures in wealthy men and runs off with their cash. The encounters range from hilarious to dangerous. Things really quickly escalate and spiral, everything falls apart, and the climax sees Zoe's house up in flames, and she's forced to choose between escape, money, and a mother who doesn't want to be saved. The show explores financial inequality, misogyny, mental health, and what happens to those who we can't reach, even though we love them. This is very deeply personal work for me, having grown up with financial hardship and a mother with mental illness. The audience is taken on a really fun, entertaining journey while being forced to confront what happens to those who the system forgets and the moral compromises that follow. I'm looking to connect with presenters, producers, and development partners who are interested in touring the work and supporting the next stage of its development, particularly with an interest in adaptation for screen. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Sherman, the writer and performer of The Last Audition. I created this work through my company Banjo and Bongo Productions, but truly it comes from a much more personal place. The Last Audition is the story of an aging Shakespearean actor who steps onto an empty stage and discovers that the hardest lines to remember aren't the ones in the script, but the ones spoken by the people he's losing. It's a play about memory, dignity, and the quiet courage it takes to keep going when the world starts to slip out of focus. I wrote this piece because if so many of us know what it feels like to watch someone we love fade, or to become the caregiver holding the pieces together. This play is my way of honoring them, honoring the fight to stay present, honoring the idea that even in forgetting, there is love. As I bring The Last Audition into the world, first in Adelaide, then New York City, then the Edinburgh Fringe, I'm looking for partners who believe that intimate stories still matter. People who understand that a single actor on a stage can hold a whole universe. I'm seeking touring opportunities, producer support, and industry guidance to help this story find the audiences who need it most.
Hi, so here I am, on a bed. Cheeky, I know. I'm told I have 60 seconds to make you want me. The show, I mean. Want the show. I'm Hamish, and Before We Begin is a solo show about consent and queer intimacy. It's a task-based work. Think Taskmaster meets sex education, a series of escalating invitations for me and the audience. It's naughty, cheeky, playful, fucking funny, a little awkward, and surprisingly tender. And of course, nothing happens without you saying yes first. My previous work, Access, premiered to some acclaim and went on to a 5-stop New Zealand and Australian tour. This work premiered at Auckland Pride, and audiences called it some of the safest interactive theatre they've seen. And also funny and sad. I know. How does he do it? We're playing this week. Come see it. Book a meeting. Find me at the bar. Slide into my DMs. Whatever works. How was that for you?
Hey Adelaide, my name is Dwayne Forrest and I'm bringing a show called Bob Marley, How Reggae Changed the World to the Adelaide Fringe Festival. I'm going to be at Holden Street Theatres for the full run and I'd love it if you came and see the show. I take audiences on a journey through the roots of reggae to the transcendent legacy of Marley, who brought the music and the culture to the world. But really it's a story about how he touched my life all the way in Toronto, where I'm from in Canada, and reconnected me to my roots. It's a beautiful time. It feels like a warm hug. I think my favorite thing a reviewer said is that doctors should prescribe it as an antidepressant. I'd love it if you come see me at Holden Street Theatres. Again, that's Bob Marley, How Reggae Changed the World, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
G'day, my name is Lucy Heffernan. I'm the writer and performer of Party Girl, a one-woman rock and roll monologue which follows the story of Fairy Sprinkles, a very bad fairy who's trying her best to follow the rules while her life is falling apart. Party Girl is a unique show. It's a mixture of stand-up comedy, live music gig, and monologue. It features a bag of tricks, 5 original songs, and it's the only show in the Adelaide Fringe Festival to feature a unicorn rap. Party Girl hit the ground running in 2023 winning the Week 4 award for Best Theatre at Adelaide Fringe, getting 5-star reviews, and we were even called Australia's answer to Fleabag, except instead of a hot priest, we have a hot dad. Even though the show is about being a fairy, Party Girl tackles some real big stuff. It's about the relationship between a mother and a daughter, and the way mental illness can impact a family. It's about class, it's about challenging traditional notions of feminine behaviour. Party Girl is a show with a huge beating heart. It is brutally honest, and it is brimming with authenticity. Party Girl is brought to you by Purple Tape Productions, a company who champion bold new work for women. We hope to see you at the show, and we would love to chat to you after about future possibilities. See you at the party.
Hi there, how's it going? My name's Jackson Peel. I'm a Melbourne, Naarm-based creative and performer, and I'm the lead artist of When There Was Forever. When There Was Forever is a folktronica epic. It's a live music set meets a storytelling experience. Basically, I'm on stage with my guitar and a bunch of cool guitar pedals telling a story, playing a narrator. A story that is filled with original folk compositions and rich soundscapes created by these pedals. The story itself is a seafaring, adventurous, romantic quest for glory that eventually reveals itself as, spoiler alert, our invented origin story for the siren myth, a myth that you may be familiar with from Greek mythology. And as the show goes on, it begins to reveal itself as a much more complex examination of the myths and stories that we tell and are told today, and how these can be used as a force for ill and for danger too, which is very prevalent in today's world. In terms of tourability, it's super easy to tour because it involves me, my guitar, and my pedals. So I can essentially plug into almost any PA system and be ready to go, and could definitely be stripped back too. And we're very interested in touring and regional touring. Aside from that too, we're also interested in growing the work, incorporating a full live band and some more production design elements too. So that's another avenue. But for now, we're at the Crawford Room from the 17th to the 22nd of March, and we hope to see you there. Thanks.
Hi, Elon Musk coming to you from Mars. Pretty lonely up here. But anyway, I've been thinking about this show this guy is putting on about me, but I don't think it's really about me. It's this jukebox musical karaoke 90s comedy / magic show, but I think it's really about heavy stuff like the famine in Sudan and gross inequality, and I just wanted people to know that. And also, I think I'm going to have that show banned because the guy is giving away all his money to Sudanese famine relief, and I've got $1 trillion and I don't give 1 cent of it away to anybody, and that makes me look bad. So Elon Musk.
I'm Michael Mills, and I'm the writer-director of A Curious Thing, the story of Mary Anning. A Curious Thing is a musical work about Mary Anning, a remarkable woman whose defiant curiosity led to a fundamental change in how we understand life on Earth, at a time when women were largely excluded from science. Mary's story sits at the intersection of science, creativity, and social justice, and marries together the 3 things that matter to me most. Importantly, the systems that overlook Mary's contributions are not yet relics of the past. They still shape whose knowledge is valued and whose stories are told. This is an upscaled version of the production that sold out during the 2023 Adelaide Fringe, and that for us is an ongoing creative journey. In 2025, I spent over a month in the UK researching this work, fossil hunting in Mary's footsteps, walking the streets of her hometown, and working alongside historians, paleontologists, and local community members. This research has directly informed the rewritten version of this show. We're seeking partners to take A Curious Thing interstate and internationally, and into museums and festivals. We have a network of museums and universities we're connected to around the world who are keen to be part of what we're creating. This is a story of global significance, and we'd love to hear you about how you might be a part of the next step of this show's journey.
Thunderbolts, fairy hearts, vertebraries, crocodiles, teeth, devils, toenails galore. Thunderbolts, fairy hearts, vertebraries, curious things, all and more.
Our story tells the true tale of Anna and Horatio Spafford's journey through devastating loss to faith,
hope, and redemption.
Celebrating resilience, love, and healing, we inspire audiences with the timeless message of peace amid grief.
I'm Ali Gum, owner of Maytide Theatre Company and co-author and director of Maytide's It Is Well With My Soul.
And I'm Andrew Broadbent, co-author and production manager.
We face timeless struggles, the economic crisis, mental health, discrimination, the list goes on.
Through this story, we help our audiences learn that we not only survive, but prosper through community and faith.
In the 1800s, the Spafford family faced many struggles themselves. The Great Chicago Fire and the Ville de Havre shipwreck, losing their 4 daughters.
They were surrounded by disaster and later lost a child to scarlet fever. They were lost until they found their community and leaned on their faith.
By penning the lyrics to It Is Well With My Soul, Horatio gave comfort and guidance to many people over the last 150 years.
It Is Well inspires reflection and compassion, reminding us that sorrow need not define a life, and that love, service, and faith can chart a path forward. It offers not just a retelling, but a healing hymn in theatrical form. We are blessed for the chance to be sharing this story.
We would love to tour this show across regional SA and the Australian Fringe Circuit.
We are also looking for industry support in resources or promotion opportunities, and support to license this work. Anything anyone can send our way will be appreciated.
2 venues, 3 weeks of Fringe, 8 performances.
We hope to see you soon!
Hi, I'm Michael Traufer, the writer, composer and performer behind Fabulette Productions, and I'm pitching my one-person musical, The Pink List. It's a one-person musical about a gay concentration camp survivor who finds himself prosecuted in post-war Germany, once again for being gay. For me, the story feels urgent because we're watching in real time how quickly rights can be rolled back and minorities are political targets again. The Pink List had its tryout run at the King's Head Theatre in London in 2024, then successful runs at the Brighton Fringe and with Gilded Balloon at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2025. We're now coming to Australia. Later in 2026, we're going to the Orlando Fringe. I'm also working with a German licensing agency at the moment and hoping to premiere the German version of the Pink List in 2027. Through the Honeypot program, I'm hoping to find touring opportunities, potential producing partners, and potential future collaborators. So come and join me for the Pink List, and I hope to see you at Adelaide Fringe. Thank you.
Only Bones' Daniel Nodder is a joyful solo performance that champions physical theatre and clown.
My mind is blown by
Brilliant, such a display of virtuosity.
Amazing.
It went 1,000 more places than I thought was possible.
I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. It was amazing. I was captivated the whole time.
The show is an exploration of the universe, from the Big Bang to the death of the dinosaurs, singing body parts and the creation of stars. It is a non-verbal piece, so you don't have to speak English to enjoy the show. This show's been touring since its premiere in 2023. All of our gear can be packed into a single suitcase. We're predominantly looking for touring opportunities in Australia and Europe, but open to anything else.
Hi, my name is Vibhina Ramdev and I am a performing artist based in Bangalore, India. I am the writer, producer and performer of Why English? The Layers Between the Language. I used to be a contemporary dancer and I managed to break my neck in one of the rehearsals. 15 years later, I've created a physical theatre solo show. Why English explores why I can predominantly only speak English despite having lived my whole life in a so-called non-English speaking country, India. What's all the fuss about? Isn't it just a language? But when I decided to become a full-time actor, I realized that I couldn't speak any of these languages fluently. So I wasn't considered for any of the jobs. And that's what triggered my question, why do I speak English? Why English? I use my training in contemporary dance and the spoken word to create my own physical language. I also use the set, which is basically 6 pieces of net fabric hanging from the ceiling, to create different dynamic spaces on stage. There's also a bit of audience interaction in between. I promise to deliver a very unique storytelling experience. I'm open to all kinds of opportunities. Touring worldwide, within Australia, regional, national, small shows, big shows, everything. So reach out to me. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Jasmine Story, and I'm the playwright and one of the performers in Smoko. Smoko is a two-hander that I started writing on my Smoko breaks. It's set at an outback landfill in the Northern Territory. Smoko is presented by Big Truck Productions, a new South Australian and Northern Territory puppetry and performance-based collaboration ran by myself and Claude Crichton. Smoko is a two-hander that uses comedy as well as lots of puppets. Smoko follows the main character Becky. Becky is caught in a web of small-town queer dating. She's trying to work out why she has a really confident streak that comes onto people in a really confident way that doesn't work. Smoko is important to me as it showcases a story of a working class, regional queer in a uniquely Territorian story that has the opportunity to bring us closer together. Smoko is a work that has puppets. Smoko has two performers and also explores what the influence that our relationship with objects has on the way that we treat each other.
I'm Megan Reardon from Making Strange. Along with Aria Scarlett, we are presenting A Poem and a Mistake at the Garage International at Adelaide Town Hall. A Poem and a Mistake is a 1-hour, one-woman play that kaleidoscopically explores Ovid's metamorphoses through a contemporary lens. Through 17 characters and 120 transformations between them, one female body grapples with the cultural inheritances of all these tales of transformation and looks at what they really mean in terms of power, gender, and desire. This work was created collaboratively by writer Sherry Magid, director Michelle Bossy, and performer Sarah Baskin, and was inspired by the visionary work of translator Stephanie McCarter and the Me Too movement. This piece is important because collectively, globally, we are continuing to see the pervasiveness and impact of sexual violence across society, from the personal to the political, the highest levels of government. And Australian audiences deserve to know this story. With one woman a week in Australia on average losing her life to intimate partner violence, we know that silence and forgetting these powerful stories is not the answer. We are looking for opportunities to continue to perform this show around the world. We're particularly interested in universities or other academic settings, and we can offer a suite of workshops from the creative team alongside a run of the show. We look forward to welcoming you to a performance at the Town Hall.
Hey, my name's Glenn Wallace, and I'm here with Emmett. And today, we're here to talk about I Can Have a Dark Side Too, a 45-minute black comedy, two-man show, playing from the 18th to the 21st of March at the Mill as part of the Adelaide Fringe Festival. Take it away, Emmett.
You don't tell me what to do, bitch. Read the cards.
Okay. The story follows Ray, a children's school entertainer, but when he receives the news of a sudden personal tragedy, he begins to unravel. Attempting to process his grief, he begins to confide in his sock puppet, Emmett.
That's me.
Who encourages Ray to tap into his dark side. But will Ray be able to keep it together for the kiddies?
The show features puppetry, original music, and live piano, played by this guy. And strong profanity.
The show played at the Perth and Adelaide Fringe Festivals in 2025. Have a listen to what our audiences had to say.
It was so good.
Puppetry, singing, dancing, acting, original songs, amazing.
It was wonderful. Emmett's really intense.
Our biggest goal is to take this show to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. But if you have a festival that you think we'd be a good fit for, then we'd love to know about it. So get in touch at glennwallace.com.au. See you at the festival.
Buy your tickets now, bitches.
Emmett.
Hi, I'm Lucia Mallardi, performing as the soccer actress. I'm an Italian former professional soccer player who became a soccer freestyler, performing on the streets around the world, and later an actress. I've just arrived in Australia, where I'll be based for a year, ready to tour after premiering the English version of my show at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe 2025 and performing off-Broadway at the United Solo Theatre Festival in New York. This is an autobiographical one-woman drama comedy show that merges storytelling, character comedy, freestyle soccer, and dance. It is an innovative crossover format that pushes boundaries, breaks stereotypes, and tells the story of female resilience using the soccer ball as a tool. But at the same time, it is a very universal story about chasing dreams and finding your place in the world. As a queer artist, my goal is to inspire and empower young girls and women, queer people like me, and anyone who feels like they don't fit in. I'm looking to connect with programmers, curators, bookers that align with my vision and values to tour in Australia this year. As a multilingual artist, my long-term vision is a world tour with the show translated into Spanish, Portuguese, German, and of course Italian, and to adapt the stage show into a TV series. I hope you come to see my show at the Adelaide Fringe.
So picture this. You are 28, you are sitting in a psychiatrist's office, and you hear very strange, very scary words. Words like autism, words like neurodiversity, words like ADHD. And the world then starts to make a little bit more sense. You are different, and you have been different from the very beginning. And that's my story. Hi, my name's Jess Turner, and I'm the writer and performer of Spectrum, which is being co-produced by the beautiful Sunburnt Productions. Spectrum is a beautiful little hug of a show which tells the story of a neurodivergent little girl as she develops over the course of her life. It brings in poetry, music, art, dance, and it really celebrates that neurodiverse perspective and champions authenticity in spite of social structures that perhaps aren't built to accommodate different brains. We're looking for things like touring opportunities, industry advice, developmental opportunities, mainly because we really believe in the message of this show, that neurodiverse perspectives matter, that acknowledging difference matters, that authenticity matters, and we are so excited to bring the show to Adelaide Fringe in 2026. Can't wait to see you there. Bye!
Hello, my name is Abby, and my solo show Crepuscular is having its world premiere at the 2026 Adelaide Fringe. Crepuscular, which is a derivative of the Latin word crepusculum, meaning twilight, is the name of my new solo show. The show tells of an unforgettable dream and childhood experiences and core memories influences on our identities. Crepuscular is 60 minutes of storytelling, physical theatre, shadow work, and my original music, weaved in together to create a show that is bursting at the seams with nostalgia, the human experience, and our inner child. It follows love and loss, grief, transformation, healing, and those parts that don't heal. Crepuscular feels like an extension of myself. It feels like all the things that I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, or even tell myself now. To scream at the world about, because I find these things so important, but there's no easy way to put them.
Hi, I'm Lucy Best, and my new solo show, Unbelievable, launched as part of Melbourne Fringe in 2025. And the audiences said nice things. I often get asked how much of my material is really true, and the answer that often surprises people is all of it. So this show is jam-packed full of hard-to-believe but true stories from my unconventional life. For example, I lived in the Cayman Islands for 5 years, and I'm not even a tax dodger. I was a scuba diver and a photographer to the rich and slightly famous. I was also expelled from an all-girls boarding school, shock horror, and I'm also a real-life bisexual. We're real. Although this is a comedic storytelling show, the overarching story of the show is about the time that I held a wild baby dolphin as it died. Sad but true. As I tell the story, I go off on tangents, telling other hard-to-believe and much funnier stories from my life. My tangential style is indicative of my ADHD, which I only got diagnosed formally through the process of writing this show. The show is a roller coaster ride, but the audience is kept safe, entertained, and mostly amused throughout the show, despite the obvious pathos of the central story. I'm touring it to a few major cities in Australia this year, and I'd love more touring opportunities both nationally and internationally.
Hi, my name's Melissa Pullinger, and I'm the writer and performer of Meteors. This show has been created and produced by the Cram Collective, which I co-founded along with Connor Reedy and Rem Williams as an independent theatre company here in South Australia. Meteors is about mums, grief, stars, and lasagna. It's an autobiographical show that I began writing following the death of my mum when I was 20. I noticed that grief isn't part of the conversation. No one knows what to say, so it simply goes unsaid. And after 7 years of feeling like I had to tiptoe around my grief, I'm really looking forward to cracking open this universal experience. The Cram Collective have been making high quality, sold out seasons of work here in South Australia for 4 years. Our work is authentic, daring, and full of heart. With an original score, Meteors is flexible, tour-ready, and emotionally resonant. Cram are really keen to find regional or international touring opportunities for Meteors. The full production can be transported by the solo performer with simple technical requirements and the only set being a chair. We're also looking to make connections with those passionate about the creation and presentation of Cram's work. Meteors stands out for its honesty, heart, and audience connection. The show is being presented by The Mill and was developed through their centre stage residency in partnership with the Adelaide Fringe. We have dates from the 19th of February to the 7th of March, and we really look forward to having a chat with you in the foyer post Meteors.
Hi, I'm Andrea James Louis, Asian Canadian Australian pole dancer. I've spent the last 10 plus years performing, competing, and teaching pole nationally and internationally. I've performed at Sydney Opera House, Adelaide Fringe Festival, Miss Pole Dance Australia, and now I'm returning to my theatre roots with a 1-hour solo storytelling pole dancing show called The Pole Shebang. It's a day in the life, behind the scenes sneak peek at my life as a pole dancer, loosely based on my actual life and featuring performances and costumes from my actual career as a pole dancer, including 4 distinct styles of pole dance. The Pole Shebang premiered in Canada in the 2024 London Fringe Festival, followed by sold-out shows in 2025 at Hamilton and Vancouver Fringe Festivals, and is making its Australian debut with a 3-city tour, including Melbourne Midsummer Festival, Perth Fringe World, and Adelaide Fringe Festival. As a self-funded, low-budget production with a cast and crew of just me, I'm pretty proud of how far I've been able to take this show, and I'm so appreciative of all the friends, family, and fellow pole dancers who have helped me along the way. But now I'm seeking partners, producers, publicists to help me develop the Pole Shebang even further. I'm open to touring nationally and internationally, but I'm also keen to adapt the Pole Shebang into an episodic video series. If any of this has piqued your interest, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'll catch you around Adelaide Fringe at Honeypot.
Hi, I'm Hannah Smith.
And I'm Sade Santos.
And we're based in South Australia and are heading to the Fringe with a new theatre company called Dead Darling Theatre.
I'm playing Chloe Jackson in our debut show Bitch Boxer, written by Charlie Josephine. Chloe is a boxer training for the Olympics while grieving the sudden loss of her dad. The show is fast-paced, physical, and is a one-woman show about rage, love, grief, and fighting to take up space in a world that keeps knocking you back.
Audiences need to hear a story like this more than ever. We're living in a world where dreams can feel increasingly inaccessible, often achieved only as a luxury or a privilege.
After this Fringe season, we are looking for touring opportunities overseas, but particularly to regional and remote Australia. The show can fit into a suitcase, plus we have this sports bench, which is designed to be packed flat into a small little Mazda 3.
This show can tour with just the 2 of us and requires basic lighting and sound. The opportunities for venues is endless. We're currently performing at a black box, but we're also heading to Murray Bridge to use the big theatre there. And I can also see this show being performed in a community centre or a sports hall.
So come along, we'd love to meet you and have a chat or a beer afterwards to get advice and support. We are performing at Goodwood Theatre and Studios from the 4th of March to the 7th of March, and then we're touring to Murray Bridge on the 8th of March. Thank you so much.
Get you. Get you.
Hi, my name is Connor Delves and I play Cadell Evans, Australia's first and only Tour de France winner in the new stage play Cadell Lungs on Legs. We had our premiere last year in Edinburgh. We won Best Show at the Fringe with Theatre Weekly, and we are now coming across the world in the new upgraded version of the play. We have screens, we have the actual bike. I ride the bike live on stage for the whole show. Our full creative team are all Australian and based in New York City, and the show is ready for international touring as we take on London and off-Broadway in the next 18 months. And we're looking for more venues to take the show and share sport and theatre together right on the stage with more of you around the world. Excited to do so. Thank you so much for watching.
So I'm James Harvey. I'm the writer, director and producer of Little Miss Julie. And I'm also performing the play in the role of John, the ambitious servant with big dreams to transcend the bounds of his class.
Hey, my name's Sarah G. Bonds and I play Christine in Little Miss Julie.
My name is Ruby Puppetry. I play Julie in Little Miss Julie.
Little Miss Julie is a one-hour reimagining of August Strindberg's classic play Miss Julie.
It follows a young heiress, her father's coachman and the houseboat cook.
It's set in a New York City mansion on Fifth Avenue, and it is the eve of Independence Day.
It follows these three very different characters as they wrestle with what they believe is right and wrong. There is no way that you're not going to feel like you're right there with them.
It's the relationship between all three of them and how they all relate to each other.
It's been such a joy to get to work on this and to feel so safe in an environment with these talented creatives.
What I love about this play is that it's human, it's messy, and that's really exciting to play.
It explores moral ambiguity, the dynamics of class, of gender, and of age.
And the power in words, but also in what's not said.
Sensuality, sexuality, and the chaos that can bring, but also the hunger that being restricted can do to someone.
All three of these actors are very, very talented actors in their own right.
The production is a fast-paced, provocative and intimate story of faith, power, sex, tragedy, told mercilessly and unrelentingly. It's going to be a powerful show and I can't wait for you to see it.
Hello delicates, my name is Max Sharam. I am an independent theatre producer / solo performer. I have created a work that I'm so excited about. It's been something I've been conceptualizing for over a decade now, and I've finally got it made, and it's really unique, and I would love it if you would come and see it. The only closest thing to it is if you are familiar with a production company from Britain called 1927. Their work, a long time ago now, Gollum and Barry Kosky used them many years later to animate the backgrounds of his magic flute for the Berliner Komische Opera. This work, I even went on to become an animator because I knew I had to incorporate visual image and moving image and visual storytelling and all of the things I'm crazy about, which is the opera, singing, like parody, comedy, murder. And I've put them all together in one show. And there's a series of scenes. It's a really portable piece. I moved to Manhattan 20 years ago because my big dream is to make theatre for the big stage and big audiences. And it's taken me a while, but I'm back. I'm here. And I really can't wait till you come and see it. I'm very excited. And I love feedback. Come along. See you there. Mezzo cuckoo, diva, gone, dada.